Hey guys, this is 97 Lego Maniac with another custom minifigure video, and for this video, we're going to take a closer look at my Star Wars Clone Wars minifigs. So this is still part of I wanted to make like the Skywalker Saga stuff, but I decided to add the Clone Wars in it because we still have Anakin and Obi-Wan. It originally started off as an Anakin and Obi-Wan collection, and then I'll make like different versions of them, but. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to make this kind of like a Skywalker Saga thing. So we already went over the Phantom Menace and the Attack of the Clones. This is going to be kind of like a spin-off of it because, Clone Wars is a really popular show. I like the show. I like it a lot. It's one of the best of the prequels in my opinion because I don't like the prequel movies all that much. People are liking it now, but they're only saying that because they don't like Disney Star Wars. And now they're thinking the prequels are like the secret masterpiece the entire time. They're still bad movies. Don't let nostalgia fool you. Sure, the sequel trilogy isn't good, but to say that the prequels is good, better, or has always been good, you're just fooling yourself. You're just saying that because you just hate Disney and you think it's SJW propaganda or whatever dumb shit people keep saying. Yeah. But Clone Wars has always been consistently good, in my opinion. Even when, okay, I take that back. Even if you watch the first few seasons, they're probably not good. But Clone Wars came out when I was a kid. And when they made those first two seasons, they had the kid demographic in mind. And when kids like that, I liked the first two seasons when I was a kid. So, and then when I grow up, obviously, the series had to grow with its audience too, which is why it becomes dark and mature. Some people say Clone Wars is trash because of the first two seasons, and I'm like, you're just, I don't know. I just hate those types of people because they're like, okay, you judge the series. It's like you're judging a book by its first few chapters, but not the overarching story. If you're really gonna complain, if some people say, well, a show has to be consistently good from start to finish, and in some cases, I agree, but not all shows are always perfect. So I just feel like that's just kind of like a pessimistic mindset, if you will. And this is coming from a pessimistic himself. So I don't know. I feel like if you think the Clone Wars is not good because of the first two seasons alone, you are missing out on the Maul storyline, season 7. You're missing out on the Bad Batch. You're missing out on a lot of good stuff the show delivers much later on. And I just kind of think that's kind of sad that people are just not giving that a chance, So, yeah. With that being said, let's just continue with our figures. So the first figure I'm going to start with is Obi-Wan, because I think I started with Obi-Wan, in my Attack on the Clones video. So, yeah, Obi-Wan. Really cool character. I really like him. I don't remember him doing much in the Clone Wars, if I'm being completely honest, because the show's mostly about Anakin and Ahsoka and Rex. Obi-Wan's just kind of there. I mean, that's as far as I personally remember. So yeah. To start with a hairpiece, I went with the old Clone Wars style hairpiece because I kind of want to make him stand out differently than the standard Obi-Wan hair that people keep using a lot for purists. As for my Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan, I'll probably just sculpt my own hair or something. I kind of want to try that. So yeah, I went with the Clone Wars style head. As the head, it's actually different than the one I post on Instagram. Because I wanted to attempt a fully painted Obi-Wan head myself, and it didn't really work out that well. So I just ended up buying an extra Obi-Wan head that I used for the Attack of the Clones to just use that instead. Yeah, the reason why I just had to paint it because I wanted to stand out differently than the Revenge of the Sith head and the Attack of the Clones head, but I eventually thought, it's not worth it. I'll just use the same head as always. I sculpted the chest armor, and I painted that in white, which is annoying because white paint is a pain in the ass. What I did, this is actually really cool. I sculpted the shoulder pad here, and what I did for the gauntlet, this is actually E-tape. So that's why you can't really tell on the camera, but there is a little bit of a 3D texture here. The gauntlet in the back does kind of jut out a little bit. I also sculpted the gauntlet. I wrapped this figure up with fabric and then with E-tape, and I sculpted the pouches. So yeah, and you can see like the left of the E tape that's kind of like wrapped around here. As for the lightsaber, it does look. I kind of did like a similar technique of how Aaron made his Obi-Wan lightsaber. I think we use slightly different parts, like mostly for the middle section here. I think I used like a flex. I think this is a flex 2 that I use, and then an antenna. I don't think he did that for his. I think his was dry sculpted, if I remember correctly. And would I make this lightsaber again for like Revenge of the Sith? Probably not, because my problem with making a lightsaber like this in hand, while it does look pretty accurate, my problem is it's a bit too tall. The lightsaber is a bit too tall than usual, and I think what I want to do, if I want to make my own, I'm definitely gonna do something different up here to make this a bit thinner and just make it a little bit shorter. And plus the bottom pommel is not accurate at all. I mean, this is just how most people made their simple Obi-Wan figures, because it looks like Lego-like and all. But I'm gonna stay away from making a lightsaber like this from now on, and just try to do something different with it. But I might keep like the grooves on the handle though. Those were from like a little giant like sword piece I found. And yeah, and instead of painting white for his like boots, I instead just painted black on white legs, because again, painting white is annoying. The white is the antichrist of customizing. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Obi-Wan. Overall, it wasn't that hard. Like, a lot of people seem to forget that I made Clone Wars figures, because the post didn't really do that well compared to my Attack of the Clones, which is kind of surprising. So yeah, I decided to make their season 1 to 3 outfits, only because like their season 4 and 4 to 6 are pretty much Revenge of the Sith, just with the added gauntlet. And I'm like, is there really a point to make 4 to 6? I'll just make the early ones, because it stands out and it's different. The next figure we have is Anakin Skywalker. If I remember correctly, his head was like the really old Revenge of the Sith figure that they made. I think it was from if I remember correctly, yeah, I think it was from like the one with the green Jedi Interceptor that Anakin used. I remember that set being expensive. That's all I remember. But the difference is like I erased a lot of wrinkles off, because I don't like when they added so many wrinkles on this figure. So I erased most of that. I don't think like these two cheekbones here. Like, I thought that just looked very strange. So I erased those, and I think it works for like a younger Anakin. So yeah, I think it works for this Clone Wars version, because though he was not in the path to the dark side at this point in the story, So same thing with the Obi-Wan. I sculpted the shoulder armor. I also sculpted the chest armor. I also wrapped this figure with with fabric. I think it was like a Cape Manus trench coat that I used, and I just like modified it. As for his glove, I just wrapped that heavily with E-tape, and I wrapped more E-tape around it for the straps. The belt I wrapped with E-tape, and I dry sculpted like the pouches. And for this hand, a lot of people seem to make this black, but it's actually a dark brown glove. I don't know why he has asymmetric gloves, but whatever. And I sculpted like the comlink on it. I also sculpted like the continuation of the glove here. That's why you see like around his like waist, like his wrist. Sorry, around his wrist, like you see like a little sculpted putty. Kind of want to make that look like as if it's like a continuation of the glove. So yeah. I also went with like a Cape Manus like waist cape as well, and I painted the legs. And the cool thing about this figure is the lightsaber. I wanted to try something different with the Skywalker lightsaber. Most people, have like a thicker like hilt up top because they have to fit the lightsaber blade. I decided to not go with that, because I wanted to do something different. I instead went with like a flex 2, and the blade is actually connected by like this Lego antenna piece, and that's how you connect them. It's actually really hard to make this, because you gotta have to make sure it's kind of straight, and you can see like the blade doesn't exactly slot in nicely with the saber, but I still want to do something different regardless. And so yeah, and most of this the texture, most of these like 3D elements here are pretty much just dry sculpt, but most of this lightsaber was actually a Lego rod piece and a Lego flex tube just glued together, and the rest I just like dry sculpted around. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Anakin. I definitely want to go with more of this types of saber for like Revenge of the Sith and onwards, because it's different. It's kind of like my style. Not a lot of people have made a saber like that, and I want to keep experimenting it till I can perfect it. Next figure we have is Ahsoka Tano, and I decided to make her appearance based on seasons 4 to 6 because I am not a fan of her look in the early season. Not only I don't like the crop top, but she also looks very illegal, so this looks passable in my opinion. She's not showing a lot of skin, and it just makes it look less awkward. And I honestly prefer this look because I like it when she dual wields like lightsabers. I just think that's kind of freaking awesome. So yeah, let's start with like the head. Like the head I fully painted. That's for sure. I also painted like these like I forgot what these headpieces are called. I'm not a true Star Wars fan. Anyway, so what I really did, I just like repainted the blue. And I also like dry sculpted like these like Padawan braid that she had, so she has got that. I sanded the curves of the torso, and I wrapped it with E-tape. And same thing with her waist cape. That's make sure it looks like her waist cape is actually connected with her torso. That's why I didn't win with like a cape man as like waist cape as always. As for her legs, I painted. I think the most hardest part was like painting her arms to give this like this diamond pattern. That was definitely tricky. I did not enjoy that. Dark red is also kind of annoying to paint, and it's kind of scraping off a little bit because it's been in storage for a while. So yeah, and I wrapped her torso with like E-tape belt. I also made like this middle section here out of E-tape. Those two like cylinder pieces are actually dry sculpted. Her lightsabers are very interesting. So what I did, I used those flick fire missiles. I pretty much cut that, but I left this. But I pretty much cut that in half. And this hole here, I cut like the saber pieces in this shape. I got this idea from, I forgot his Instagram account. He's some Korean Lego customizer. I think he was gonna make like a season 7 Ahsoka, and he posted like breakdowns on how he would make the lightsaber. So I pretty much I pretty much borrowed the idea of the flick fire missiles, and the rest of the thing I dry sculpted like this here, the ignition here, this here. The bottom part is actually a wand piece with with dry sculpted piece glued all around. Pretty much almost the same thing what I did for the Phantom Menace Obi-Wan lightsaber, and same thing with her mini lightsaber right here. So yeah, that was really fun. I remember this breaking a lot. So, but the problem is it's really hard to try to adjust the blade because it doesn't really sit on correctly. It kind of looks like it's always crooked all the time. But once you get it at the right angle, it looks pretty sick. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Ahsoka. The hardest part was definitely like making her lightsaber and trying to make her outfit like the waist cape work. Originally I was gonna paint like bronze patterns around her torso, but it just looked way too messy, so I eventually just scrapped that because it wasn't necessary. So that's pretty much it for Ahsoka. Next figure we have is Asajj Ventress, and yeah, I decided to make her her early season outfit because it does kind of look like the 2003 version. But then now that I think about it, I guess I should have just like made the black and white version. I don't remember if she wore that in the show. It's been a while since I watched Clone Wars, so bear with me. I decided to I just made this version instead. Now the cool thing about her, like I can remove like this waist cape out, but it's gonna be too risky in my opinion, so I'm not gonna do that. I think I posted like an Instagram picture of what she looks like under the dress. I know that sounds very, very sus, but what I mean is like if you remember the scene in the Clone Wars movie when she strips and Obi-Wan's like, I don't know, he just has this really sus look. If I remember correctly, like I painted like the same straps like on her legs. There's like an Instagram picture somewhere, if I remember correctly, that had that, so go check that out. For her head, I pretty much wanted to copy how Lego painted their Asajj Ventress head, so I painted that from scratch. Another thing I did, I think she has like markings on the back of her head, and I just forgot, and I just never did it, so I'm gonna have to get back to that at some point. So yeah, the rest of the things E-tape, this skirt's E-tape, this middle section's E-tape, this up here, this is actually all dry sculpted. And now back to her lightsabers. this is pretty much just like cut up like a rod pieces at an angle and just glued together. So that's pretty much it for Asajj Ventress. I'm glad I made this figure. Would I make more variations of her? Probably, maybe like her Night Sister outfit. But right now it's not in my plan. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Next figure we have is Captain Rex, and he's probably one of my favorite figures here. Like, a lot of work was put into this guy. So what I did, this helmet originally is actually an extra that Benson gave me, Benson Bone. Follow him on Instagram. He's a really cool guy. This is like an old like an AV printed like AV helmet that he got from him. And it's very loose because I think it was like a miscast or something. But yeah, so I painted this entire figure from scratch. Like some people use like AV figure parts and stuff and then just like call it a day. I decided to make a fully custom Captain Rex because I don't know, I just don't want to use like printed pieces or anything like that. So what I did here, head is like fully painted, but the hardest part was trying to make sure the black visor stands out from the blue because it just doesn't look clear in my opinion. So what I had to do, I had to use like garnish gloss on it, so that way the black can shine. I also sculpted this like a rangefinder he has here. The pole I actually eventually switched because that used to be dry sculpted, but then it didn't work because it was very flimsy. So yeah, this is like the same material I use for Tech's helmet. I don't know if I have any extras. It was the one that Andrew gave me. So yeah, and here's his head. Pretty much like the Lego's Clone Trooper heads, which is a great print that they ever done, and I can't wait to abuse this head more. And here's his like the Widow's Peak hair that I heavily sanded to represent his buzz cut because I don't want to paint that, So yeah, we got that, and his pauldron, which if I take his head out for a second, his pauldron's actually all fully sculpted, so that was really fun to do. His chest armor sculpted, the pouches are sculpted, shoulder pads sculpted, crotch piece sculpted, gauntlet sculpted, and knee pad sculpted. And this style here is pretty much what I'm gonna do for my clone troopers in the future. So you'll see a Commander Cody with like similar sculpted details like this. Maybe the crotch section will be a little bit different though. You'll see Commander Blind, the same thing, Commander Fox, and other clone troopers in general. So yeah, that'll be really fun. And we all know where these come from. These are brick arms. And oh yeah, and the back's also sculpted too with a little big detail. And the extra detail is the fact that he has an E-tape belt wrapped around. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Captain Rex. He doesn't really stand out compared to other Captain Rex in the community, but I wanted to make him regardless because he's a cool character. For my sixth figure in this collection, I wanted to go with like a standard clone trooper, but I decided to go with a phase 1 because since most of these characters in my list are like are actually in a season 1 to 3, I wanted to make a phase 1 clone trooper just to have. So yeah, so I'll make a phase 2 clone trooper at some point, but as of right now, it's not my main priority. So yeah, here we have just a random clone trooper. So this is pretty much follows the exact same sculpted detail as Commander Rex, Captain Rex. Sorry, Jesus Christ, what's with me? So because he has like he has the same sculpted bits here, the sculpted back, sculpted front. Pretty much everything is the same thing with Captain Rex, but obviously it's a plain looking clone trooper. And obviously the helmet's different as well, which is actually a fully painted one. I try to give it a little bit more of an animated look, so that's why the visor is a little bit different. I feel like the visor would be a little bit different if it was like if this was like an Attack of the Clones version, but yeah, but it's fine. So yeah, standard clone trooper head as well, and I decided to give him this hairpiece because it just works for clone troopers. So yeah, this is pretty much the standard hair I'm going to use, and also obviously the standard head. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the standard clone trooper. Very simple figure, and I gotta say, working with white paint is freaking annoying, but I was able to make sure it's clean for this figure. So yay for me. That's it, guys. We can wrap this up. So that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. There are more Star Wars customs I have. I still need to finish my Mandalorian. It's just season 1 figures have been taking a while because Jason took forever to ship a damn package. but he finally shipped a package that has the Grogu head, so I can finish Grogu, and he's pretty much the last figure I need to finish for season 1, and I can showcase a Mandalorian. And after that, I want to make Revenge of the Sith at some point. But right now, I'm kind of taking a break from Marvel and Star Wars customs because they're getting oversaturated, in my opinion. I kind of want to focus on things that I want to make that not necessarily a lot of people will know, because it's just fun. Because in my opinion, I only make figures for myself, even though I show it to you guys so you guys can like and appreciate it. At the end of the day, I make these figures for me and not for you, essentially, because I don't even sell these, and I make these things based off of my interpretation and how I think the figure should look, not how other people should look. No, not how other people should think it should look, you know? So that's why I enjoyed so much making Genshin Impact figures. And even though I'm not really a big League fan, I only got into it because my girlfriend forced me to, I enjoyed making these figures because it was something new and different. And I value that more than what other people want. So yeah, that's just how I roll. So yeah, but thank you guys so much for watching. I'll do my best to upload more videos whenever I can, and hopefully just rebrand my channel maybe, because that's something I've been thinking of for a while, but I've just been too lazy to figure out where to start. But I have some plans. I kind of want to make like a showcase, like a timeline of me making Breath of the Wild Link. I want to bring back an old series. I still need to make that toy toxicity video, which I still haven't recorded, but the script has been done for months now, so I got to do that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys there. Bye bye.